Mhm.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me mute everybody. Yeah, Hem, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah. So my question is about Sat. So in a lot of places, Sat is translated as existence itself. So how is that related to this idea of being the content of now? So I've been trying to think about this and from a different perspective, in the sense that if Sat is existence itself, then for existence to even exist, you need an observer. So that would be Chit. So in essence, they are both aspects of the same thing, but something which observes itself. So that has always been a confusion which I've had.
Yeah. Yeah. So the question is, so let me, yeah. Sat is existence. That is what you made, the point you made. I've read
Hmm.
Sat as existence.
Hmm.
Yeah. Sat is existence. But when we say existence, our idea of existence always depends on an object. So right now, in general, if
Hmm.
somebody you have for existence, if you say this book exists,
Hmm.
book exists. This timepiece, this clock exists. Yeah, exists. And this phone exists. And the phone should always exist next to me. Otherwise, I feel like this. So the phone is more important to me than my own existence, it seems. So the existence is always with respect to an object. Our appreciation of existence, I mean, is always with respect to an object.
Right.
And so we are trying to remove that dependence. The dependence means of my idea of existence, which seems to depend on an object. An object exists or an object doesn't exist.
Hmm.
I exist, my horns don't exist. Okay? So existence and non-existence is always with reference to objects. In general understanding.
Hmm.
So we are trying to remove that and say, no, you are that consciousness. That consciousness is existence. Even though I did not use the word so much, the word existence itself, you can use it. And that consciousness is existence. We did use the word self-existent. Correct? Use the word self-existent.
Right.
And that is important because there has to be something self-existent which can enable everything else to exist. Every other concept, every other object, the entire universe.
Exactly. Yes.
Correct?
Yeah. That was what I meant. That something has to exist for everything else to exist, and that should be consciousness. Because without consciousness, there cannot exist anything. I mean, it won't even be correct to say that something exists without even saying that there is a consciousness behind it. So,
Correct. So you are correct. So we
yes.
use the word consciousness. We did not use the word existence so much other than saying self-existence. We can now change the same thing we learned before. Mithya exists. Of course, Mithya exists. But it exists, its existence is dependent on the existence of something else. That we saw very well. The wave is Mithya, its existence depends. We are not saying wave does not exist. We are saying wave exists, no doubt, but its existence is dependent on the existence of water.
Right.
And so that's water is what gives existence to wave. And like that, water also can say, hey, no, my existence really depends on this so-called, these chemists are smart people. They have figured out my truths and hydrogen and oxygen, and my existence depends on these atoms. Like that, the water will say. So therefore, you're right, your observation is correct. Finally, there has to be something that is existing without depending on anything else.
Yeah.
Which means self-existing, self-revealing, also we can say.
Correct.
Because apparently different functions, but mean the same thing. So your observation is correct.
Okay.
So you made the point of observer, etc. So there we need to be a little careful. And we will unfold this further. Atma exists, whether this body is alive or not. Whether there is an observer to appreciate Atma or not.
Yeah.
Atma.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it came to this because I was trying to again, so from my trying to imagine death. So because I was trying to analyze why we are afraid of death. So one conclusion which I reached was that I'm afraid because I don't want this existence to become non-existent. I don't want that blankness. So, but then if that is blankness, if after some time that is going to fade away, then what is existence itself? So the existent cannot become non-existent suddenly.
Exactly.
So with that reasoning, I had all of.
Exactly. No, that's right. The thought of me becoming non-existence is just the scariest thought anybody can have.
Yeah.
And we can't stand it. So maybe that is a clue. Maybe clue.
Correct.
Clue that, hey, maybe I have confused myself. That is a clue. That is what gives us the clue. Correct?
Yeah.
That is a clue. Good. Very good. Good question. Yeah. Okay. So there are no other questions. We will stop here.